What up, B Squad? What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Marriage DC Season 2, Episode 1. The episode is titled Changing of the Guard, you guys. I want you guys to tell me what you guys thought about Episode 1 of Love and Marriage DC if you guys watched it last night. I watched it last night and then I just rewatched it before I came on here to do the review. So before we go ahead and just jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Love and Marriage DC, shall we? So you guys, this episode, like I said, for me, it didn't give a lot, so I can't really go to, this review is not going to be a long review. I'm going to talk about the things that I feel need to be talked about. A lot of it, I was just like, The one thing that I kept asking throughout the entire episode was, where is Winter? This episode, we didn't have any sightings of Winter. We just had Ashley and Quick, Arena and Jamie, and the introduction of Joy and Clifton. And that was it. No Winter anywhere in this episode. Now, let's go ahead and start with where we open. So it opens up and it starts showing all those headlines about Monique and Chris. You guys remember, I forgot when this was, but you guys remember last year. And see, the interesting thing was I thought that they were filming for Love and Marriage DC when that story came out, because I felt like I saw somewhere that they said that, you know, they would talk about their story, what was going on with them on this season, but they're not there. Honestly, I don't miss Monique and Chris. No shade to them. I just don't miss them. I don't miss her nagging at Chris. I'm kind of happy to not see it, right? So it is what it is, you know. I know, you know, people felt like, you know, the show ain't the show without Monique. It's still the same to me personally. I feel like it's still the same show. I don't think anybody last season was, you know, only person that I will say was a standout was really Winter. Let's be real. I like Arena. I do like Arena. I do like Monique. Ashley, I go back and forth with Ashley because I still think Ashley is a bit of a mean girl, and that's what I don't rock with when it comes to Ashley, but I think she's very beautiful, but she just has that mean girl persona to her, right? So yeah, they're talking about Monique and Chris. We see Jamie, he went down to the studio where Quick was, and coincidentally, Quick's co-host, she mentions the rumors, as Monique says. Girl, that was not a rumor. I feel like Monique put that out there herself. It's so interesting because I was on Twitter last night while this episode was on, and somebody came across my timeline that was tweeting about Monique, that tweeted a video from season 3, I believe, of Real Housewives of Potomac. You remember the season, they had the reunion, season 2, and you remember Robin was fanning herself, and somebody on one of Monique's fan pages made that tweet, you know, made the meme of Robin fanning herself. And remember, Monique got so upset, saying that she don't pay nobody to do this. She she don't know nobody who's behind that fan page, right? She don't have enough. She don't do that. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it her brother behind that fan page? Like a lot of things with Monique, I can like Monique for who she, you know, I can like her, right? It took me a long time to come around to liking her, but I can also say that she's a liar, just like I said about Karen. Monique is a liar, right? Monique lies. Because the interesting thing was that when I actually remember exactly when these stories came out. It was BravoCon weekend. That's when it was, because I remember it. Because Football here was on the panel with the Potomac cast, and she was talking about Monique and Chris. And I believe Saturn's Rings had something to say. She wanted to move on to move the subject on because she didn't want to talk about her, right? But then the next day, I think it was that Sunday, it was either that Sunday or that Monday. One of the two. No. Scratch that. BravoCon started that Friday. Then it was that Saturday. It was a Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night that it happened. and it went into that Sunday when she was doing like Yandy, showing off her ring. Honestly, I don't care, what Monique and Chris are doing. It doesn't make me no difference, right? If they want to work on their marriage, work on your marriage. If they want to get a divorce, separate, do whatever the hell you want to do, right? It ain't got nothing to do with me. The thing that annoyed me in this episode was the fact that they kept talking about Monique and Chris. Now, I do want to say this. I saw that Ashley tweeted last night, and Ashley said the reason that they kept talking about Monique and Chris because I think they saw it all night. Everybody was asking, why do you guys keep talking about Monique and Chris? And she said the reason why they talked about Monique and Chris was because they thought that Monique and Chris were coming back for season 2. I'll give you that. In the scenes, I'll give you that you guys thought Monique and Chris were coming back. But in the confessionals, you guys knew they weren't coming back at that point because you guys had long since filmed those scenes. But I know in the confessionals, the producers are gonna ask you the questions. I probably would have asked my producer, like, why do I have to mention this? They didn't come to the party. What are we talking about? Why am I bringing up something? I mean, I know you have to relive it, and I guess it's because they kept mentioning it in the scenes. But it was annoying. It was annoying as hell, to be quite honest with you guys. It was really annoying me that they kept mentioning Monique and Chris, right? I want to pause here and move forward, you guys. So we get off of Monique and Chris. So now, mind you, I want to bring up something real quick, right? No pun intended. I want to bring up something that Quick was talking about. So Quick and Jamie, they were talking, right? And Jamie was talking about the fact that he was a police officer for 25 years, right? And Quick said, I've known you for close to 20 years, but I didn't know you were a cop. How did you not? If you've known this man for close to 20 years, how did you not know he was a cop? From what I've heard, I don't know DC, and I don't know the DC area like that well, but from what I've heard about DC is DC's pretty small. So it is what it is. If he didn't know, he didn't know. I do want to give kudos to the production this season, right? Because you guys remember last season, they had their names in big letters above their heads, right? This season is just like Love and Marriage Huntsville, where they just had their names just going across the screen in a small little box. I'm like, thank you. The confessionals look nice, but I do want to point out one thing about the confessionals, just one teensy little thing. They're very dressed up, right? They look like they're going to the senior prom. Like, I love the looks on Ashley and Arena, but those dresses, those are ball. I'm like, why did y'all wear ball gowns? Like, what did they tell y'all to wear when y'all come for y'all interviews? Like, y'all can't dress laid back. Like, I'm not saying, when I say laid back, like, y'all can't do like what the housewives do. None of the housewives, I don't think I saw too many housewives dress up in ball gowns. But I mean, they look nice. I'm not judging or nothing like that, right? So we talk about the Tylers and what they got going on, right? So you guys remember last season that Jason got accepted into Doors. So Jason is, looking to move out, and I'm really happy for Jason. I think Jason is a cool kid. Love seeing Jason on my screen, right? But little Jamie, however, Jamie's still having a little bit of issues, right? So I guess, Jamie was supposed to be helping. It was supposed to be a shoe-in for him to get a job, but they did the background check on the young man, and with his record, they turned him down for the job, right? So moving over to Ashley and Arena, Arena's telling Ashley about how a ticket came to the house, and it was in, since they both have the same name, he opened it. And, little Jamie said that he had just paid his probation officer, so he asked his dad, could he pay his ticket? His dad was like, I'm not the one that got the ticket in your car, so that's on you. Now, I can see both sides of this coin, right? Here's my thing. Is it up to Jamie to pay little Jamie's ticket? No. You got the ticket, right? But here's the other thing, right? He's on probation. Now, granted, I'm not going to defend him because you on probation. Why'd you get a speeding ticket when you already got legal issues already on top of you, right? So that was a little bit careless in my personal opinion, right? But here's the thing. If that ticket don't get paid, he gonna have his ass in jail. So I just want to point that out, right? But again, that's not on Jamie nor Arena to pay that ticket. But I mean, you don't want to see I know there's a lot. I think when it comes to Arena, Jamie, and Little Jamie, there's a lot of blame that can be placed on each person. I know, at one point in the episode, we'll talk about it when I get there, but I know Jamie's talking about him being a kid of the 90s, right? But we'll talk about it. No, we can talk about it. I feel like when I say I feel like there's blame, because I feel like y'all, spoiled him. He feels entitled. Y'all have coddled him. Y'all have allowed him to get away with so much stuff for so long. And you never once put your foot down. And when I say you never once, just said, wait a minute, you doing too much. Like y'all never just said, and it feels like I don't think y'all set clear boundaries with him. That's just my personal opinion, just from what I'm seeing. But that's really it. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we got Joy and Clifton. Yay, two people that I never wanted to see again in my life. So if you guys, I know I saw a lot of people last night tweeting that they don't know who Joy and Clifton are. Well, allow me to introduce you guys to Joy and Clifton, right? So Joy and Clifton met on a lovely little show we call Ready to Love DC, right? So if you guys are not familiar with the premise of Ready to Love, was it DC or was it Potomac? No, it was DC. So it's Ready to Love is the show where they bring singles together to find love, right? They date each other, and at the end, we usually have 3 couples at the end. They either choose to stay together or go their separate ways, right? So no one had an issue because we could see from the beginning of the show that Joy and Clifton were very much attracted to each other and they liked each other, right? But the issue came in because there was another woman that Clifton pretended like he liked. Her name was Dakia, right? Lovely lady. Dakia was one of my favorites of that season. Dakia and, oh my God, was Sabrina? Yes, Sabrina's from DC. So Sabrina and Dakia were my 2 favorite ladies of that season. The rest of the ladies on that cast were horrible. They were mean girls. They were all some mean women. So back to this. So Ready to Love has a reunion every season, right? And Tommy Miles hosts the show, right? Nephew Tommy. So Tommy was talking to Dakia about her relationship with Mr. Clifton, right? Miss Pick Me over here, Miss Thirsty Joy, she, you know what, Joy, but you know what? I read you once before. I am not going to read you again. I already read you at that reunion. But Joy gave very much Pick Me vibes at the reunion, and she was really just being, actually both she and Clifton were being very nasty to Dakia at the reunion. And for that is a reason why if you guys did not watch Ready to Love, and you saw people on Twitter last night talking about how they don't like Joy and Clifton, that's why. Now, I will say that they are a good-looking couple, but looking at Joy and Clifton on this show, they give very much thirsty, rehearsed, and fake, all in the same breath. I don't like them. I'm gonna try not to read. I'm gonna be nice to them this season. No, I'm not, because I don't even know if I'm gonna stick with this show. So that's why I say I don't know if I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna continue to watch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna continue to review it. We gonna play this week by week, because this episode, it felt a little, like I said, it fell flat for me, right? But yeah, that's really it for Joy and Clifton. She is going to be a bonus mom to his 2 sons. The youngest is 4. The oldest is, I don't know how old the oldest is, and I don't care. They're moving into a new home that they bought. Congratulations, couldn't be bothered. Now, Joy, so you left your singing career for Clifton. Girl, I hope it was worth it. Because that was also the issue with them. She sang overseas, right? Mexico, Dubai and all those places, right? And that was the issue with them at the reunion. Didn't he give her a key at the reunion? Yes, he did. So cringeworthy. He gave her a key at the reunion. Let's move on from Joy and Clifton because I couldn't care less. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode, you guys. And we're gonna talk about Quick and Ashley. I don't know what Quick's definition of parenting is, and I'm not a parent, so I'm not speaking on his parenting style. But the things he was saying just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Granted, at 14 and 15 years old, did my mom still wake me up? Yes, but she didn't have to wake me up. She did that because that's what she chose to do, right? By 15, by my, well, yeah, because I had an alarm clock. I know I had my cell phone, so I would set my alarm on my phone. Even from high school up until college, I would set my alarm clock on my phone to wake me up. But my mom knew how I was, you know, and I'm still the same way today. I will go right back to sleep, and then I'll wake up a little bit later, right? And here's my thing with Quick. I get what he's saying. Their son could be, you know, a little bit more independent, right? I get that, but that's something that Ashley chooses to do, right? But the thing that threw me was when he was talking about, you know, let him miss school let him miss school, let him sleep in and miss school. If your son misses school too much, guess where you and your son gonna be at? The truancy court. Just putting it out there, right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. It really, that's all that I can say. I get where he's coming from and I get where she's coming from, but I lean more towards her side of things. I lean more towards Ashley, because if you go by what Quick says, and that boy misses school too much, then like I said, you're gonna have your behind right there in a truancy court. So it is what it is, right? Then we have the party for Jason, to celebrate Jason, right? And everyone is showing up. They asked the question of where is Monique? Where is Monique? Where is Monique? Child, if I had $1, if I drank every time I heard Monique's name mentioned in this episode alone, I would have had alcohol poisoning. So they're not sure if little Jamie's coming to the party. They show up to the party. They have a good time. Like I said earlier, I do feel like when it comes to little Jamie, that he is very much spoiled and entitled, but his parents have also done that to him, right? So at one point, Joy was talking to the ladies, and she was telling the ladies that, you know, she was invited to something that Steve and Marjorie Taylor. Wrong person. Wrong person. Steve and Marjorie. I keep wanting to say that woman's name. Steve and Marjorie Harvey. Jesus, why don't want to keep saying Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Harvey. We're gonna have to call her something else because, oh God, I almost called her that nutcase in George's name. So I think it's a panel or something where she'll be speaking about ready to love, but to single moms. Now I was with Ashley and her friend, but you're not a single mom, so what can you say? And I know what the panel is. I guess it's her talking about her journey on Ready to Love, but it is kind of confusing the fact that they're asking you to speak to single mothers. You're not a mother and you are not a single mother. So your journey and their journeys are very much so different. So I got where Ashley was coming from, but it did come off a little strong. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't even like Joy. So little Jamie shows up, and him and, you know, big Jamie, they went outside, they talked. Again, like I said, Jamie and Arena got to hold the mirror up to themselves at this point, right? Because you guys have created that person that little Jamie is. So yes, y'all might want the best for him. Y'all might feel like you 26 years old, you got to get a job. You ain't working. That is true. And it's interesting because you look at their daughter and you look at Jason, and it's like, you know what? It's that middle child syndrome. Because he is the middle child. And I think that's part of what it is, the middle child syndrome. And a part of, like I just said a few minutes ago, they coddled him, they spoiled him. It's just a lot that went. I'm not blaming them, and I'm not blaming him, but it's a lot of, you know, that each parent and child should take some accountability for, right? They got into it with each other, and I was just like, what the hell? But then when Jamie was talking about the fact that, you know, little Jamie is a kid of the 90s, and, you know, kids from the 90s are so entitled and whatnot, pump your brakes, Jamie. pump your brakes. Now, I'm not necessarily a child of the 90s, but I wasn't born in the 90s. I was born in 89. But I grew up in the 1990s. My mother was a single mother. My mother took care, did whatever she could for me, right? But at the same time, my mother taught me the value of work, she showed me what hard work and ethics are, right? She showed me the value of $1. Like my mom showed me, she did everything she could for me as a kid, but she also instilled a lot of different core values inside of me. So I resent that whole comment about kids from the 90s. I resent that. I just resent that. But that's really all I got, you guys. The producer woman, you're Jamie and he's Jamie. I'm like, ladies, shut up. That's really all I got, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this first episode of Love and Marriage DC. This episode review is longer than what I expected. I was thinking it was only gonna be 15 minutes, but we went for 20 minutes plus. But yeah, drop down in the comments if you guys subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on and share the video. And until the next time, please stay safe, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Be blessed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like I said to you guys, I don't know if we're gonna stick with this show, but I definitely want to do this episode. But I don't know if we're gonna stick with it. We'll see. Bye.